Today, we are going to explore the course SOC Analyst from Cybervie, and we will see what kind of the aspects we can learn from this course. A SOC Analyst course, I believe you already explored a lot of cybersecurity courses in the web. So teaching different aspects. So what's about this course? We included a few of the streams in cybersecurity with a amalgamation of the blue teaming and red teaming. It's not just we are teaching you about just Kali Linux and the different web application tools and then put you in a different role of a blue teamer. Because if you explore the market, there are very less courses which only teams the blue teaming aspect. Everyone teaches the CH content, the ethical hacking. So that's what make this SOC analyst course a little bit unique. Before we go any further, we should ask ourselves why we are learning cybersecurity. I'm sure most of you guys are already part of the cybersecurity practice or learned about cybersecurity or listening to a lot of news of about hacks or someone recommending you what kind of things to do and what kind of things not to do in terms of cybersecurity. The first reason is espionage. Maybe it's kind of a lot of like uh, science fiction type of terminology, but it is not. Espionage is something called spying. A lot of hackers, they are not money motivated. The first thing, they want the data so that they can do a lot of monitoring, spying on people. Because the reason, maybe government benefit or satisfaction. Second would be disruption to the continuity of operations. A lot of companies have deal with the critical infrastructure. If it is hospitality sector, then hospitals, medical and equipments, and if it is any manufacturing facilities, then operational technologies. Third thing is share value. Let's assume any corporate got breached. However, the defenders have caught the attackers before they can get any data exfiltrated to their environment. But still, the organizations have to intimate the government, the law enforcement authorities. The company admits that they've been hacked. Obviously, their share value, their market value will be deteriorated. Yeah, the fourth one is reputation. Yes, based upon the reputation, if the reputation is gone, they may end up losing their existing contracts or losing their existing customers. And so there are other implications. The fifth one is data theft. What if the attackers have successfully infiltrated the company, got the data, they exfiltrated to their environment? Now people might say, oh, okay, data, what is it? Maybe the attacker got to have data about users and then their email address, their birth dates or family members names, etc. And the last but not least, one of the major and the important reason why corporates and enterprises recruit people for cybersecurity in the defending purpose is money. The banking organizations, if someone able to access any unauthorized access to the banking systems, they can swindle money and they can make false transactions here and there, and they can loot a lot of other money also. So these are all the reasons why industry need more and more defenders than attackers. So people in the market, they are more interested in offensive security, penetration testing. It is important, yes, but for every one penetration tester, we need three defenders, because penetration tester might be working on one shift or two shifts, but we defenders, we need to work 24/7. So this is the slide which can explain why you should pursue career in cybersecurity. You can see there is an increasing number of cyber breaches till 2019. These are all publicly available number of incidents. We don't know a lot of companies who are already breached, but they either the case is they don't know or they don't want to publish. So my hunch and what I want to say is there are a lot of other companies they are also breached, but that is not mentioned in this report. Times of India have predicted 2 years ago that 3.5 million cybersecurity jobs are needed by 2021, and I'm not sure how many times they were correct, but this one is totally correct because this year the jobs are soaring high. People need a lot of cybersecurity defenders, and I'm sure while by the time you complete the course you will have a lot of knowledge in hand and the practical information about how to clear the interview and how to start working from the day one once you are deployed in your job. So yeah, this slide is about the career map for the cybersecurity. So you might ask, okay, Mohan, let's assume I've listened to you and I've accepted that cybersecurity is the next big thing. Okay, I've joined your course and I've joined, I learned everything and then I've got a job opportunity and joined there. Next what? Will I be a security? What kind of career paths I have so that I can succeed in my career? So I'll say everyone should have a goal and should have a clarity of path where they want to go. Field. There are a lot of sectors in it, a lot of divisions to in it, and overlap is somewhat medium. I cannot say large or minimal, but medium. So you have to be precise where you have to go. See the bottom line is tracks. These are all the tracks which any person who completed cybersecurity initial essentials can land up in. Starting from network security, application security, IDAM, endpoint, data security, GRC, forensics, incident response, security operations, BCPDR, and industrial control security. So these sectors, network security management and endpoint and BCPDR and security operations. Sorry. So these are all covered. Okay, excuse me. Yeah. So these are all part of security operation blue teamings, and these people sit together in SOC operations and IT operations together and monitor the infrastructure. Whereas application security and one of the application security involves there is another component called red teaming. Red teaming and application security penetration testing. These are all part of offensive security, which means the organization hires these people so that they can test the existing security and tell whether there are loopholes are there or whether applied patches are applied properly or not. Identity and access management, data security, GRC, these are all part of a different team where they'll enable the rules for who can access what kind of resources and what kind of policies are necessary so that organization security will be in good posture, and what kind of data we have. As I spoke earlier, we have PII, PCI, and HIPAA related information, different type of information. So based upon that information, what kind of privacy guidelines we have to follow from the regulators and what kind of security controls we have to impose so that data is secure. That will be fallen under data security and privacy. In this course, our concentration is more on IT forensics, incident management, security operations. So these three, and then threat intelligence. Threat intelligence also forms on top of IT forensics, incident response, and security operations. We'll see the blue team and how to analyze the information, and we can give a good assurance to the management that the infrastructure is secure. So this is about our course, which I've been bragging since a very long time. Okay, so this is the course. So the first week, the course entire itself is a 4-week course, which is 4 into 6. Every week we go for 6 days, completely technical content. So the first week is about security basics and SOC fundamentals. So the people who are joining our course, we assume there are a lot of freshers who are college pass outs who don't know about the infrastructure, how it looks like in the enterprise or any small and medium scale companies, and how network works, how the servers and endpoint works. So we brief them about that and what kind of networks are there, network devices, ports, and other things. Because if anyone wants to give security, first they need to understand what is the infrastructure. Without having visibility or understanding about any infrastructure, no one can give security. So our concentration is more to impart that knowledge into the candidate so that his foundation and basics are resilient. So that goes for almost a week before we conclude the week with our SIM solution called Splunk. And there are other SIM solutions also, but we tend to concentrate more because it's a market leader and it is booming. There are other in the first 5 days we will talk about uh, different verticals like which I've mentioned earlier: the IDAM, vulnerability management, GRC, and the network devices, ports, and other all. So once the student understands the infrastructure and SIM solutions, what are logs and how they are pushed to the enterprise SIM and all, we'll move to the next module called incident response. Security SIEM tool, which is central monitoring solution, which will help the SOC analyst to monitor, understand, and analyze the threat, and then inform the corresponding person to triage the threat. So security monitoring is something central intelligence which they do monitoring and inform the local police so that local police go and do the triage, which is the incident response. So incident response track, the first 2 days, again, we want to concentrate more on the security operations. So we do have another 2 days of SIEM, more depth into SIEM, and then IDS, IPS solutions, which are open source. So we'll have an entire day course of IDS and IPS solutions. And then incident response starts. In the incident response, we concentrate more on what are the incident response policy, frameworks, and then the legal aspects to it, how an incident responder should think, so how he should work and analyze the information which they receive from the SOC team. And the second day of incident response, where we'll discuss about different type of attacks. Because let's assume a security operation person have informed incident response lady about this is what happening, please do the triage. The lady should have understanding about what kind of attacks are there in the market, what kind of attacks are there happening around in the competitors or in our organization. Based upon that, she can understand and deduce the attack. Then she can contain the attack, and then she can report it. So incident response second day, we'll discuss about different type of network attacks, web attacks, and buffer overflows. And the third day, we discuss about different tools like Nmap, Netcat, and Metasploit framework. Many of you guys maybe of CH or any offensive security training whoever attended it, you might be wondering, these tools are offensive security tools, right? Why we are learning an incident response? Because okay, on that day I'll be our trainers will be dealing with those tools on hands-on, like how to work on those tools. Because if an incident responder doesn't have knowledge about hacking tools and what a hacking tool can do, or how a hacking tool exploits a vulnerability and penetrates into the environment, he or she cannot contain it. So basic knowledge about Metasploit framework, Meterpreter, and other payloads will help to understand the attack, to recognize the attack, and then start triaging. And the fourth day of incident response, the end of second week, we will talk about different framework and approaches and methodologies which almost all the corporates adopt in terms of triaging the incident response. It's a very famous framework which will help to standardize and streamline the incident response process so that we'll not miss anything in the process of containing. And then there is a framework called Veris. We'll use that to gather information, to document that incident for future purpose, and also sharing with our peers, sister companies, and all. So that concludes the incident response section. I'm sorry. Yeah, malware analysis starts from the week 3. Most of you guys have heard the term malware analysis. But if you go to enterprise environment, malware analysis, there are very less folks because it's already been handled by security operations team itself. So in our security course, we discuss about how we can start the malware analysis, how to acquire the files, and how to analyze it. What kind of, in the first day, we will discuss about different types of malware files, where it can be a virus or a Trojan, and there are a lot of other variants, very different types of categories. What are the new variants in the market, like everyone worried about? If you take the name, if you go to any organization and take the name, they'll be worried because they know that they are facing this kind of threat. There are very common threats around the globe. So we will discuss that kind of common threats in the day 1, and understanding different type of malware, and how to acquire that file, how to build the lab, because a lot of people they might say, okay, I want to do malware analysis at my own disposal. Whenever I want to do malware analysis, I have to do in my internal network. I can teach you how to build a lab which will help you to create your own isolated sandbox and do this kind of practice whenever you have, because the same kind of environment will be expected if you have an opportunity to join any company as a malware analyst. So you should be well versed with the tools, and then how to build a lab on your own to start the malware analysis part. And the second day of malware analysis, we will discuss about static analysis and dynamic analysis. What is that? A static in itself, when your lead or someone is really suspicious about a file and gives you a file and asks you, hey, Monica, can you help me out to understand what is this about? Because I'm really suspicious about it. And then you might say, okay, let me check it. And then you will, without running that file, Monica will go ahead and check the properties of the file and report back to Supriya stating that, okay, this file is not a malware and it is a benign. If it is a malware, then she'll report back with the proof and evidence that it is a malware. So how Monica can do that with different types of static and binary analysis techniques. That's what we discuss in the second day. Third day, we go deep dive into reverse engineering, because nowadays the malware is so sophisticated. By static analysis and dynamic analysis, you won't be getting that much of information which can help the other defenders to protect the organization from the malware. So how can we approach that kind of situation? That's where we go deep dive and do some kind of reverse engineering using debuggers. We will use that file, put it in a debugger, and understand its assembly code, and then we'll find the kill chain. So most of the people who don't know what I'm talking about, debugger is a software which will open the file and read the assembly code. Assembly code is something. Okay, first of all, I'll tell you how a software can be built. Most of you folks already heard about Java, Python, C++, C, and all. These are all programming languages. We have to code a program in C language or Java and all. We have to create the file, we have to compile it, and then we have to create a file. That file is an executable, which means if you execute it, it will serve the purpose, whatever you intended to. Same kind of thing. Attackers will create file using same C language, Java, or whatever the programming language of their choice. They create a file and then send it to you. So the file you are analyzing it will not have the source code because it's already been compiled. So it have the binary code, sorry, the assembly code. So this assembly code will be shown in the debugger, and then we'll understand how the execution is happening, how the jumps are happening. So we will go into the introduction of the assembly code and how to understand it using different types of debuggers. And the fourth day is very important day because there are two main topics which will be discussed in depth using practical and hands-on. I mean, a lot of sessions in the entire 4-week course is practical. The last day of malware analysis, we will discuss about how to analyze malicious macro documents, I mean Word documents and PDF documents, because this is the everyday challenge. Mark my words, this is the everyday challenge of every company in the world. They receive phishing emails every day and they don't know whether it is a phishing email or not. They need someone to understand and let them know, okay, this is not a phishing email or this is a phishing email. So basically phishing emails have malicious Word documents and PDF documents, zip files and all. So fourth day, we will be concentrating more on malicious Word documents and PDF documents, how to understand whether they are really malicious or not. And in the third week, before the malware analysis, sorry, I skipped a part. A 2-day session is there called forensics. So in the blue teaming section, IT forensics is mandatory because if some in the recent days the malware have evolved and they transformed into fileless malware, which indicates that you will not have any files in the hard disk. If any infection happened, an incident responder come and checks the system, they'll not find any malware, which creates a false sense of security that that system is not infected. But through a different security device, you have a hunch that that machine is infected. In that case, the forensic analyst comes into the picture, takes a forensic image and do forensic analysis. So in this section, the first day of forensics, we introduce about the IT forensics, what it is, file types, the drive types, and then how to acquire the image from any machine, and how to maintain the custody, chain of custody. We call it chain of custody. And the second day, we have two different type of scenarios where we'll see an insider threat. Let's assume a company have an employee who done some bad things, and we want to investigate whether he or she have really done it or not. And second one is a malware incident where a forensic analyst what he or she can do to investigate that threat. So that concludes week 3. And last week, we will concentrate more on threat intelligence. And the reason why we have incorporated threat intelligence part in our course curriculum is, if you go and check any institute who are teaching cyber related trainings, they don't have this product, and very less people have this, and they don't know threat intelligence because they don't have any hands-on experience. But we Cybervie, we have professionals who have hands-on threat intelligence section, and the entire week is more concentrated on different types of threat intelligence products, notifications, how to analyze a threat, how to conclude a threat, how to inform the management, how to inform the defenders, and then create different type of intelligent products. And this module will definitely help the students who are enrolling our course to be at edge compared to other students who are self-taught or from different institutions, because we'll pour in our practical knowledge which we have faced from past years. And threat intelligence section is very important, and I strongly advocate this section because all the previous sections, security operations, incident response, malware, forensics, all these sections will help to build a new section called threat intelligence. And threat intelligence section can build, combine all these four parts into one thing and create a new product called threat intelligence notification. So that's about the week 4. And after that, our management teams will pitch in and help you out with your skills for the interview on how to become a really secure defender so that you can start working from the day one once you are deployed. Uh, our Cybervie has been very resilient from past few years, and we have a very unique method, unique approach in terms of nurturing the students and whoever want to enroll into our course. The first procedure is enrolling. So we have a dedicated portal. I strongly advise you guys visit the portal, understand our services, and enroll yourself. And then once the student enrolls for our course, we will start including that person into our sessions, and then we'll teach him, guide him, handhold him in almost all practical sessions, and we'll give support about the technologies and the course materials. And once the student start maturing him or herself in the cybersecurity arena, his profile should also be built. It's not like okay, once you have joined the firm, you will be getting all the points. No, from the day one, once you started learning the things, you should be starting building your career CV, and we'll help you out building CV, giving the points and nudges uh, how to carve the proper CV in one-on-one mentoring sessions. And the third part is building CV, and fourth part is exploring jobs. This is the unique thing which we will be providing, and you won't be getting any other firm or any other service providers, because we have a unique way of delivering solution, and our management is more committed towards more people get jobs in terms of security, and we can protect our community. Because cyber security, there is a saying that first we have to protect our community, then protect our employer, and protect the job, and then last one is protect yourself. So we are committed more toward protecting community. That's where adding to the commercial component, we are also committed to nurture more and more cybersecurity professionals.